7 nutrient deficiencies that are incredibly common. Many nutrients are essential for good health. While it's possible to get most of them from a balanced diet, the typical Western diet is low in several very important nutrients. This video lists 7 nutrient deficiencies that are incredibly common. 1. Iron deficiency. Iron deficiency is very common, especially among young women, children, and vegetarians. It may cause anemia, fatigue, a weakened immune system, and impaired brain function. The best dietary sources of heme iron include red meat, organ meat, shellfish, canned sardines. The best dietary sources of non-heme iron include beans, seeds, dark, leafy greens, broccoli, kale, and spinach are rich in iron. However, you should never supplement with iron unless you truly need it. Too much iron can be very harmful. Notably, vitamin C can enhance the absorption of iron. Eating vitamin C-rich foods like oranges, kale, and bell peppers alongside iron-rich foods can help maximize your iron absorption. 2. Iodine deficiency. Iodine is one of the most common nutrient deficiencies in the world. It may cause enlargement of the thyroid gland. Severe iodine deficiency can cause mental retardation and developmental abnormalities in children. Good dietary sources of iodine include seaweed, fish, dairy, eggs. However, these amounts can vary greatly. As iodine is found mostly in soil and ocean water, iodine-poor soil will result in low iodine food. Some countries mandate the enrichment of table salt with iodine, which has successfully reduced the incidence of deficiencies. 3. Vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D deficiency is very common. Symptoms include muscle weakness, bone loss, an increased risk of fractures, and, in children, soft bones. It is very difficult to get sufficient amounts from your diet alone. While very few foods contain significant amounts of this vitamin, the best dietary sources are cod liver oil, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout are rich in vitamin D. Egg yolks. People who are deficient may want to take a supplement or increase their sun exposure. It is hard to get sufficient amounts through diet alone. 4. Vitamin B12 deficiency. Vitamin B12 deficiency is very common, especially in vegetarians, vegans, and older adults. The most common symptoms include blood disorders, impaired brain function, and elevated homocysteine levels. Dietary sources of vitamin B12 include shellfish, clams and oysters are rich in vitamin B12. Organ meat, eggs, milk products. Vitamin B12 isn't considered harmful in large amounts because it's often polyabsorbed and easily excreted. 5. Calcium deficiency. Low calcium intake is very common, especially in women of all ages and older adults. The main symptom of calcium deficiency is an increased risk of osteoporosis later in life. Dietary sources of calcium include bonefish, dairy products, dark green vegetables. Kale, spinach, bok choy, and broccoli are rich in calcium. The effectiveness and safety of calcium supplements have been somewhat debated in the last few years. Some studies demonstrate an increased risk of heart disease in people taking calcium supplements, although other studies have found no effects. While it's best to get calcium from food rather than supplements, these supplements seem to benefit people who are not getting enough in their diet. 6. Vitamin A deficiency. Vitamin A deficiency is very common in many developing countries. It may cause eye damage and blindness, as well as suppress immune function and increase mortality among women and children. Dietary sources of preformed vitamin A include organ meat, fish liver oil. Dietary sources of beta-carotene, provitamin A, include sweet potatoes, carrots, dark green, leafy vegetables. While it is very important to consume enough of this vitamin, too much preformed vitamin A may cause toxicity. This does not apply to provitamin A, such as beta-carotene. High intake may cause your skin to turn slightly orange, but this effect isn't dangerous. 7. Magnesium deficiency. Magnesium deficiency is common in Western countries, and low intake is associated with many health conditions and diseases. Dietary sources of magnesium include whole grains, nuts, dark chocolate, dark green, leafy vegetables. It is possible to be deficient in almost every nutrient. That said, the deficiencies listed above are by far the most common. Children, young women, older adults, vegetarians, and vegans seem to be at the highest risk of several deficiencies. The best way to prevent deficiency is to eat a balanced diet that includes whole, nutrient-dense foods. However, supplements may be necessary for those who can't obtain enough from diet alone.